Hey guys, this is Impractical Gaming, and the new specs for the PS5 has just been leaked not too soon after Xbox announced Project Scarlett at E3, which means that this is real. The next generation of gaming is definitely happening. We're on the cusp of a new wave of next generation consoles, and everyone's excited for when they get officially announced in 2020, which does beg the question, are we going to have a genuine console war again? Disregarding Nintendo, who are more or less in their own bubble with the Nintendo Switch and kind of do things their own way, Microsoft have kind of taken a back seat in the console wars with the Xbox One and Xbox One S in my personal opinion, and it's a bit of a shame because the Xbox 360 was such a great console in comparison. But that could all change and Microsoft could actually make a proper comeback. Now granted, we don't know much about either console still. Sony may not even call it the PS5 and Xbox haven't even given us an official name yet. But there's still this undeniable buzz that's going around the gaming world which you just can't escape from. But for now, let's talk about the key points from the announcement and see how they match up to what Microsoft have to offer. In an interview with Wired magazine, lead system architect Mark Cerny mentions that the console will be based off of PS4 architecture, which means that PS4 games will be playable through backwards compatibility. The transition from PS4 to PS5 will be a gentle one, which means that a lot of the games that they'll be releasing around the launch of the PS5 will also be playable on PS4. So it's kind of a bonus for those who kind of want to wait a little bit to buy the console because of money or because you just don't want to get the console at that specific time. This isn't anything new as Xbox has been backwards compatible for a while now, so maybe they could be doing this to try and level the playing field a little bit. But it did mention that discs will still be usable for the PS5, which means it won't be going all digital like Google Stadia or the Xbox One S. Personally, as a gamer, I think this is a good move because I like to hold physical copies of my games and like post them around my room or keep them in certain places rather than having everything on the cloud. Now that may be the future of gaming, but for now I'd rather stick with using a disc just for my own personal preference. Mark Cerny does go into more detail about the hardware, saying the PS5 will have a 3rd generation Ryzen AMD chip with 8 cores, a custom unit for 3D audio, a custom Radeon Navi GPU, and the console will support up to 8K resolution if you have that level of display. This boasts better graphics, PlayStation VR support, as well as better audio quality via ray tracing, which is pretty good for developers who are planning to launch titles for the next generation consoles. And this is also what kind of a lot of gamers are looking for as consumers, obviously like other than the actual titles, just a continuous and obvious improvement in graphics and sound quality just to try and create that more immersive experience. Now looking at this in comparison to Project Scarlett, they also boast 8K with 120 FPS and a new hardware custom built by AMD using their new Navi graphics architecture and a Zen 2 CPU, so they're not particularly losing in that regard. However, PS5 does boast VR support, which Xbox for some reason has still yet to do. Now if you're really into that kind of thing, then that's a massive plus for you, but it's still too early to say that because there's a lot of time until the actual release date and Xbox could still yet get into the VR game. Both companies also both using SSD hard drives for storage, which means there will be better loading times in game. And both companies made very stern and clear points about that in both their announcements for the specs, which I found a little bit weird and obsessive, but you know what, we'll go with it. Now Sony do state some pretty impressive figures. When trying to load a sequence from Insomniac Spider-Man, the load times decreased from 15 seconds to a mere 0.8 seconds from the PS4 Pro to the PS5, which is an insane jump to make. Xbox also boasts 4 times greater loading times and the biggest generational leap in the console's history. Just looking at the numbers, it does look like Xbox lose out a little bit here, but they are different use cases and stuff like that, so we'll have to wait and see until we actually see the genuine thing close up. Other than that, there really is nothing else we know about the PS5. There's no price, no release date, and no confirmed titles at the time of recording that we know will come out at launch. And for me, this is really where the console will be won or lost. Xbox already announced Halo Infinite will be coming out at launch for Project Scarlett, which is a huge franchise that I love, and it's decisions like that that could really sway people's minds about which console to buy. So Sony in turn have to make a response, and they have to get some really good launch titles that will get fans excited. We already know that The Last of Us 2 and Death Stranding will be coming out before the PS5 comes out, and Ghost of Tsushima we really haven't heard much about, so Sony needs to get some new and exciting franchise involved and try to get them onto the PS5, otherwise Xbox might just have the jump on them. Whether they do that or not remains to be seen. We still have a whole lot more events to go through, as well as E3 next year, where I expect Sony to actually make an appearance. But all that being said, 2020 is looking like an exciting time for gaming, and I cannot wait to see the genuine rebirth of the console wars. Well, that's it from me. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, comment and subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.